Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading with me, Lorien. It's a pleasure to welcome you back to your readings. This is February 2019, Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising sign. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for supporting me. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle these cards and see what we've got coming through for you in this month of February. I really feel like February is when the new year starts. You know, things that January held for us are actually finally out of the way. We've got things, moving now. So this really feels like there's a change coming through. All right. And don't worry, I will hold these cards up for you. I'm using the Druidcraft Tarot, and they're quite big. Not as big as the Enchanted Tarot deck, but they're definitely still quite large. So I will put these up. I'm just going to light a candle as well. I've got one over there which smells of rain and trees. It's absolutely lovely, but I just need some extra light, I think. There we go. Okay. Also, for those of you who don't know, I am doing phone readings now. So if you want a phone reading with me, they last minimum half an hour. So be sure to email me if you would like one of those. Okay, so the first one, you have the Strength card. Strength is such a beautiful card to have on your first time out for February. So with this one, I feel like you're going to start off with quite a strong movement, a forward motion. You do have the new moon in Aquarius in your sign on the 4th of February, so this could be about your sort of connection to yourself, and if it is actually putting you in your consciousness of who you are, where you want to go, your path through life, it should also give you a bit of extra strength to come forwards and actually feel like you are making strides. It's interesting actually that you do have strength, because typically this is with regards to a lion next to it, but you should still feel the effects of a Leo eclipse that was on the 21st of January. So you'll still be feeling the eclipse as to how that's happening for you. And also going into the beginning of the year, you'll also have Venus entering Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn is kind of a struggle, because Capricorn can be very, trying to find the right word, practical, overly practical, even sometimes cold to people, because they have this sort of logical and fanatical devotion sometimes to facts. It can be a very rare breed of Capricorn to actually feel and enjoy the emotions. So it could be that you're sort of feeling this Venus going into Capricorn and being a little bit at war with certain people. This, I think, is to give you the strength to cope with that, and the strength to actually handle the issues that people may throw at you this month. I don't see this as being anything that you have to change about yourself. I just feel that this is going to be something that you can utilize for yourself. Strength is an incredible card. Strength gives you that feeling of patience, passion, soft control. So this is a really good card to start with, and I feel honestly that this is something to give you that sense of well-being. And coupled with the Ace of Cups that we have here, Ace of Cups brings this sort of possibility. So it could be around the new moon on Aquarius on the 4th. I think this is, again, intimacy, compassion, a feeling of patience, that what you've actually been patient with is now finally paying off. You know, you're absolutely going in the right direction. And also it could be in line with Mercury entering Pisces on the 10th of February. So this could be to do with your feeling more in line with your intuition, your emotions, communicating on a very soulful basis. And I think that depending on where Pisces is in your personal chart, because they can change depending on axis, I feel like this could be to do with how you want to interpret your own emotions and speak to people about that. It could also be if you have a Pisces rising or moon or anything like that, you could be feeling that doubly so with the start of February, because obviously you're in that sort of crossover season where it's Aquarius but also Pisces at the end. And I think as soon as we're getting into the rhythm of it, this is going to count a sort of development to you. I feel like you're going into a sort of rumination, almost contemplating your next steps, contemplating where you want to go next. And I feel as though this is going to give you that feeling of purpose. But also, again, it's kind of like Venus may war a little bit with you. It may be like, look, your love is having to be very practical. Your finances are going to have to be very practical. Maybe you make a chart for yourself. Maybe you actually develop something that's benefiting for you but other people as well. But I think that you're going to portray your ideas and actually communicate them in a very loving Piscean way, and something that actually brings you to the full here. I mean, with the full moon being in Virgo as well, that could be, again, very practical for you. Queen of Wands comes through here, very, very lovely Queen of Wands. So it could be a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, female coming through for you, but I honestly feel this could be a Leo, simply because of the still effects that we've had from the previous eclipse. So I feel that this is coming in to give you the strength and telling you to believe in yourself more. If you've had a project that you've kind of abandoned, just like, oh, I don't think I'm the person to do it. Listen to your intuition. Listen to this. Queen of Wands, you have the tenacity, you have the ability, you have everything in your power that you can do. You can utilize yourself and actively pursue whatever you want to do. You don't have to bend to other people's rules. You rarely do, Aquarius. You're my little rebels of the zodiac. But you are very strong in your imagination. You are strong in who you want to be. And I just feel that this very exuberant, vibrant energy is coming forwards. Yeah, she can't be practical all the time. She's a little bit at odds with the astrology of the month, and I think that she comes forward a little bit with, her desk is a mess, but she knows where everything is, that sort of thing. She may be just 10 seconds before deadline, but she still gets things done. And that's the energy that I'm getting from this person. She's very open, she's very vulnerable, she's a truth seeker. And if it's you, if it's a part of yourself, this is a perfect position to be in. Because even though you are benefiting, I think, from the earthy astrology of this month, I think also that you are going to have this fire in your belly and this feeling of, I can do this, I can. One thing that I want you to be aware of, though, is the Three of Wands. Sorry, Three of Swords. I just saw the W and immediately Wands, but no, it's Swords. This in particular is something that comes up sometimes with a bit of separation or grief, and it could even be illness. So, I mean, for me personally, when this came up in readings for me, it was always my gallbladder playing up. So, it could be something similar for you, something like a flare-up of, joint issues, back issues, something that, you deal with, and it's not major, but it's something that just kind of you have to sort of get over it, really, and deal with it when it comes up. So it could be that you're full of energy with the Queen here, but then it kind of comes into smack you back a little bit, as Capricorn or Taurus or Virgo tends to do, because Mars actually enters Taurus in the 14th, so it could be to do with, hang on a second, hold your horses. Taurus is very grounding force again, so it's kind of like all these yay planets are kind of being pushed a little bit into stall mode. They're not going retrograde. There's nothing that I can see in retrograde apart from, I think, one of the nodes. But there's something that I think that you benefit from with this saying, hang on a second, make sure you're taking care of yourself despite all this rushing around and all this, I know what's best for me, and all this kind of stuff, because you don't want to be overzealous. You do not want to be overzealous. And you also don't want to have this feeling of trying people's patience as well as your own. Because if you don't look after yourself and you just kind of go off into the breach without checking that you feel okay to commit to it, you're probably going to offend yourself, and you're probably going to hurt yourself, either energy-wise or hopefully not physically, but it just feels like, mind your knees. For some reason, knees are coming up very strongly for me. So if you had an issue with your knees, make sure that you kind of focus on that, because I think there's something flaring up. I don't know what it is, but they are saying flaring up. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Pay attention to your diet, the way you're sleeping. Make sure that you are in touch with yourself all the time. Not touching yourself, in touch with yourself. That's something that you need to do. I feel like if you just kind of reconnect, if you, for instance, are facing such a busy week, you don't know where to start, just kind of refrain, take a step back, go, okay, this is going to be really, really busy. What do I need to do? And ruminate on that. See if you can actually focus on it to the better of your abilities. Ace of Wands, wow. So this is a really strong card as well. Ace, to me, brings forward potential in any suit. But this one especially is that eureka moment. This is inspiration. This is your creation. This is something that says that you have an ability, so you need to use it. Utilize this. It's such a glorious card, to be perfectly honest with you. It looks so joyous, and it's reaching for the stars and the sun, and there's even a little moon here, so this is coming forward still. But it does feel a lot like you are witnessing the start of something else. You're finally shedding off this sort of skin almost, and you're actually being prepared to go, yes, I know exactly where I need to be. This is the energy, actually, the top part here especially. You have the Strength card, you have the Queen of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. This is like go, go, go. This is pure domination energy, and this is new beginning energy. This is like, again, like I said at the beginning, February seems like this is where the new year is starting, but this is even more so. It's like, yes, like the energy from the Leo eclipse. Yes, let's go. But again, similar to that, you don't want to run before you can walk. And you don't want to run if you haven't seen where the trip hazards are. So that's what this one says. Just maybe some trip hazards that you have ignored in favor of being, yes, let's go, and pushing forwards. And similarly, the Nine of Swords, they want you to keep your energy levels up. They won't want you to be, oh my gosh, this headache is keeping me awake, or this issue is keeping me awake. This is kind of saying, again, don't let the stress of potential make you anxious. If it's something to do with your work, or if you feel like you've had an idea of what to do with your love relationship, if you feel like you have an idea as to how to go forward with a project proposal or something to somebody else, this could be something that you really feel in touch with, and you're like, yes, I know what I want to do. Don't let it overwork your brain. Your mind is a very sensitive and complicated wire box. It's like just a complete motherboard of different things. If you overwhelm one bit, the other bit will get some stress placed on it. So make sure that you're taking the time to pace yourself. You're not too far in the clouds, and you're just sort of going at that even keel. If you are trying to battle any of these planets in these earth signs, I think you'll come across something that you don't particularly find easy. All the Mercury retrogrades this year are going to be in water signs, so that's going to be something to do with your emotions. But the ones where it's actually in an earth sign, I feel this is to do with your ethics and just your consideration, your practicality, the feeling of being grounded, your monetary values, your feeling of, any values actually. And also healing. So I think this is going to be a healing month. Something that you need to just, yes, you can go, but make sure you've got your booties on, the correct booties. Make sure that you have the scarf on if it's cold. Just taking care of yourself, even if you are going 100 miles an hour. And other people may not understand how you feel. They may not understand that you need to do this, you need to do this. But ultimately, I think this is going to be something that you can really utilize for yourself. I'm going to do an Earth Magic Oracle card by Stephen D. Farmer. Just going to see what information comes through from these as well. Knowledge for you. Knowledge is going to be the key word for this month, but it's what you do with that knowledge and how fast you go with it. Alright. Perspective. I kind of figured there was going to be something about, rumination, because that seems to be the word of the day. So how do you see yourself? How do you see the situation? Sometimes if go forth like and pelt health or leather, you know, at the next goal, you lose perspective, you lose how far you've come, you lose the trials and tribulations that give you the strength that you have to deal with the things that you've got on your plate. So get some perspective. Again, take that step back. Make sure you've got everything sorted before you dive in. It could even be, I want to tell my husband that I'm breaking up with him in order to find another lover, or I need to choose between two lovers and I know which way I want to go. Just take a step back. It could even be something to do with a work scenario that you've had going for the last few months. Just pace yourself. Honestly, that is the main word that I can feel, apart from ruminate, is pace. Pace yourself. And also the perspective that you gain from actually delving into your subconscious, having a look at things, seeing where you are. This is going to be really helpful for you, Aquarius. And I honestly believe that when this comes through, you're going to feel yourself or find yourself in a brand spanking new event for you to actually build this up. So as soon as we, I think, get into the middle of February, you're going to start seeing this come through. And I would always recommend that you check back again at the end of February, seeing what's kind of come through for you. Maybe check the other aspects of your trilogy, so your sun, your rising, your moon. But do leave a comment below. Let me know how things go for you, and hope that February treats you very kindly. If you want a reading from me, all the details are below. And if you want to gain access to my weekly readings and how to become a Patreon, that is also below as well. But I wish you all the very best of luck. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you guys very soon, darlings.